Ah non, si vous êtes là... Non, re-YouTube. Je sais pas si c'était là. J'espère que vous allez bien. On est de retour sur Supercopter The Game. Et on mange en live. Évidemment.
You've got to help me take the gunship down.
Oh merde, mais il revient vite ce con. Oh il va jouer en mode mais non mais c'est fini. C'est fini. Ah il se la joue à la tire. Vous savez il fait comme tir. Ah non non mais je suis plus comme ça. Enfin un tir qui n'était pas vraiment tir hein. Mais vous m'avez compris quoi.
The killer instinct is still inside you deep down.
Tir au flanc ouais un petit peu ouais. Vraiment?
I can't do this without you.
With or without you. Non mais je voulais juste sortir. Oh merde. C'est vrai, on peut pas. Ok, j'ai compris, on peut pas lui casser la gueule. Cette musique de Supercopter quoi.
It doesn't have feelings.
I will try.
Ok.
I've got an idea. Get me some.
Ah merde! Et viens petite...
Maybe I can turn up the power on these thrusters.
Mais merde, je me fais toucher direct, mais je suis vraiment le roi des cons.
Get the furthest away one first.
Ah je pense hein. Et merde, et merde. Ah non il est vide, d'accord ok. Ah putain mais ça revient trop vite.
I'm a bigger target.
Oh mais merde. Mais j'étais au LED, j'étais... Non, non, je voulais pas. Il saute pas. Ok, et le 1. Super, évidemment. Je me fais toucher comme le pire des gros sacs. Oui, il a rien balancé là. Quoi? Il y a des trucs invisibles et tout. C'est quoi ces conneries? Mais... Non mais si le jeu il est bugged Bah oui, il a l'air de récupérer le bidon, mais... Un petit peu de poulet pour donner du courage. Ouais. Meurs. Meurs. Ah non, attendez. Est-ce qu'il faut pas que je lui balance dans la gueule? Un truc que j'ai pas compris ou quoi? Qu'est-ce que j'ai pas pigé? Regardez mon personnage, on a l'impression qu'il porte toujours quelque chose. Non mais vraiment! Ouais, ça marche. Ouais, ça marche plus. Alors il y a un ordre, je sais pas. Il est réapparu là, c'est bizarre. C'est vraiment super chelou, hein. Non, merde. Évidemment. Pourquoi? C'est un peu bugué quand même, hein. On me voit jeter quelque chose, on me voit jeter rien en fait. Et me crotte. Ah. Regardez, il y a une caisse invisible. Non mais... La blague. Et donc là, hop, je le jette. Voilà. Et là, je le rejette. Voilà. Il y a un petit bug, hein. En fait, faut le rejeter. En fait, on a le... Oui, ok. Regardez, vous voyez, j'ai quelque chose dans la main. Oui. Ah, d'accord. Merci. Faut bien ramener les 3 jerrycans. Ouais, les 3, mais en fait, faut une fois qu'on lui en a, on y a donné un, en fait, on a un jerrycan fantôme dans les mains qu'il faut jeter sur le robot. C'est assez bizarre.
That's her, wearing her favorite dress,
said Fort.
She was a concierge robot, classy, intelligent, and designed to serve man. But when all the men were gone, just like me, she wasn't needed anymore.
Fort sighed and gently placed the photo back on the shelf. I thought I would try to cheer him up. Looking around the room, I saw a battered old piano, and thought I would try playing the tune Heather had taught me.
Oh non, non! Pourquoi il y a des bruits de paix? J'ai réussi ou pas?
I told Fort how great I thought his house was, and I truly
Trop bonne,
meant
j'aime
it,
pas.
but I knew I needed to get back to my quest. However, things soon got serious when I mentioned my gloves and shoes.
Do you mean the magic shoes of gravity defiance? Fort asked.
And Atlas gloves of mighty strength. They sounded far grander when he described them, but I was pretty sure he meant the same things.
The sacred artifacts, Fort said,
But before I could reply, he burst into an explanation about how there were certain things from some kind of half-remembered time that the robot rulers considered sacred and holy.
I used to believe in it all, the words, the prophecies, I even believed in the chosen one,
said Fort.
But after she... Well, I just couldn't swallow
The
all
Chosen
the ghost
One, ouais.
stories and the nonsense
Matrix.
about the afterlife. You know what I mean, buddy.
I didn't know about the afterlife, or the chosen one, but I knew ghosts were real. I then began to explain how Mr. Preston had told me the story about how Mrs. Silton had told him a story about the brother of a man who works with her uncle giving a young motorcyclist a lift after a crash outside the Blackwall Tunnel. He pulled up outside the motorcyclist's destination, but when the man turned around, the motorcyclist had vanished. So he knocked on the door and an old woman answered. When he asked her if she had a son, the woman burst into tears and said I did, but he died in a motorcycle accident exactly 10 years ago, just outside the Blackwall Tunnel.
Incroyable.
And so we began a conversation that would take us long into the night. I shared the various philosophies that the old man had taught me, about life, the universe and Douglas Adams, while Fort explained the robot philosophies, how there was a yearly competition to find the chosen one, how they and only they would deserve the sacred artifacts, and how they would rule the world. It all sounded so grand. But I suppose I was tired. I'd be happy now if I could just sit and play some video games. Eventually Fort stood up.
Well, it's late,
he said.
I need to recharge. How are your batteries?
I honestly had no idea how my batteries were, so I smiled and said, I'll be fine here, thanks.
C'est vrai qu'il a pas de batterie? Non! Il y en a deux. Ah mais ok, il me suit. Il rêve avec moi. J'ai un copain. J'ai un copain, mais j'aimerais bien finir mon poulet aussi. Mais
I'll do it, was the first thing I said to Ford in the morning.
Do what?
Came his reply with a strange look. So I explained how I would enter this chosen one contest, get these sacred shoes and gloves, then we would return home and defend the planet from the man in black.
Who will, buddy?
Asked Fort.
Me
And you? He had a point, but I knew Heather and the rest of my friends would help. Maybe it was the talk that Fort and I'd had, maybe it was the dream I had last night, or maybe it was just the urge to get home and make sure everyone was safe, but I suddenly felt like I could save the world.
encore.
Come
Il fait que
on
ça.
then, buddy, said Fort. Show me what you've got. If you're going to win the contest, you'll have to be good.
Oh, ça va être quoi? C'est quoi ce jeu? J'avais pas envie de jouer à ça, moi. Désolé pour le rototo. Mais non, mais... On se fait chier un peu quand même, non? Oh! Comment je les bait? Oh! Trop fort.
Ford
J'ai
bent back
gagné!
with a big smile.
It's a long way.
He said,
To the contest, I mean. It'll take us months to walk to the robot capital. We had best get going.
Baby foot pong.
again, on Fort's suggestion, we mainly traveled at night. Even though the world was such a mess, the twilight still made everything look quite beautiful.
Deux objets ici. Super. Bah ouais, mon con. Ah, les chaînes dans ce jeu, c'est quand même assez horrible. Hein.
We took refuge in another bombed-out building, with Fort deciding when it was time to move again.
DK Tropical Freeze, ouais, je l'ai fait. Ouais. Mais je l'ai pas fait en live, mais je l'ai fait.
We spent the next few months traveling like this until eventually, we made it to the robot capital city. Fort had told me how the capital used to be a human city, but after the war, the robots had more than taken over. However, I didn't expect a literal cathedral of video games.
Ça me dit quelque chose, le bâtiment?
I joined the queue and signed up for the tournament as soon as I could. I'll be over there, buddy. Good luck, said Fort as he found a seat with some huge agricultural robots and attempted to blend in. Before the competition began, the host spoke of many rules, laws and grand philosophies.
Ah putain, merde. Ah merde.
It sort of reminded me of Alice's church, but with none of the warmth or compassion. But still everyone clapped. There were to be 3 rounds to the competition, with a choice of 2 games per round.
Ça m'en fait penser à ce jeu. Ah bah oui. Possible, hein, parce qu'il y a 1 million de références, hein, donc...
I won the coin toss, so it was my decision which game we played.
Je disais BSK, il y a un petit côté limbo aussi. Oh non! Ah non, 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 non! Ah non, non! Non, non! Rhythm King, non! Ah mais c'est tous les jeux auxquels j'ai joué là, c'était... Oh putain! Rhythm, ça va pas, non? Quoi? Je gagne des points en faisant ça ou pas? Merde! 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 C'est dur! Mais y'a Mad Max! Pourquoi ça marche plus?
I was shocked to discover that it was actually a tournament to the death. All the losers of round 1 were placed into a crusher, myself included. Luckily my Lazarus chip took me back far enough to start again. Drive fast and score as many points as you can.
Allez, go! Oh mais c'est l'enfer. On jouait vraiment à des jeux avec des contrôles si pourris. Merde. Donc Mad Max, je l'ai loupé.
Checkpoint.
Casse-toi!
Ladies and gentlemen, your round one winners.
Mais pourquoi c'était
Well
Kevin
done,
Smith?
said Fort. I knew you could do it, buddy.
Pourquoi il y avait
Round
Kevin
one
Smith
was
qui a
not
gagné?
bad, but now it was time to meet my opponent for round 2.
Paris... Ah non, c'est bon. C'est bon, ils ont enlevé Rhythm King.
Shoot everything and score as many points as you can. «
1590. » Non! Oh non! Oh non! Oh, j'y étais presque!
Much to my dismay, along with all the other losers of round 2, I was guided into a
Oui, j'ai compris. Allez.
treasure. So it almost felt like cheating when my Lazarus chip took
Oh,
me
mais
back
c'est...
far enough to
comment il
start
s'appelle,
again.
l'autre à gauche, là? Merde! Astro! C'est Astro Boy, ça. Il y avait Astro Boy! Astro Boy a perdu.
Shoot everything and score as many.
Oui, oui, allez, vas-y, on a pas le temps. Vas-y, on a pas le temps. Non! Oh là 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 là. Oh, qu'est-ce que j'ai pris? Qu'est-ce que j'ai pris? Oh, j'ai perdu. Oh, j'ai perdu. Il y a du temps, c'est timé, c'est nul.
Shoot everything and
J'ai gagné.
Ladies and gentlemen, these four are
Ah mais non, c'est pas Kevin Smith, c'est merde, comment il s'appelle? Merde, attendez, juste 2 secondes. Le mec là de King of Kong. Putain, j'ai acheté le DVD il y a pas longtemps en plus. King of Kong. C'est Billy Mitchell. Putain, c'est Billy Mitchell. Donc on affronte le robot Billy Mitchell. Si jamais vous avez jamais vu King of Kong, je vous le recommande. J'avais déjà vu. Mais du coup, je l'avais vu en... non, piraté. Mais du coup, j'ai acheté le DVD. Qui était en promo il y a pas longtemps, à 8 balles. Et j'aimerais bien me re-regarder King of Kong, qui est vraiment un très très bon documentaire. Et donc c'est Billy Mitchell, ça y est, je viens de reconnaître. Anab Olympics. Ouf. Reasonable Force. What? Mais j'ai rien sélectionné. Robert Kopp. 5600 à battre. Bon, ça va. Oh, sauf si c'est... Screen Control activé. Flight Control activé. Quoi? Regardez, c'est les jeux de Saldel. Saldel, il aime bien les jeux comme ça. Une vache qui rit. Il y a un Terminator à côté de moi.
My own personal cheat code kicked in as my Lazarus chip took me back far enough.
Ace Combat, exactement. Ah mais Anabo Olympics. Ça va falloir tricher, va falloir poser la manette et tricher, c'est ça? « 5730. Oh mais non mais j'étais nul. Oh non mais j'étais nul, c'est vrai. J'ai joué l'autre fois et oh merde. Allez. Merde. Oh, quel cake! J'ai gagné? Putain mais c'est Billy Mitchell quoi. Ah voilà, bah c'est bien Billy Mitchell, ouais, effectivement. Hein. Billy Mitchell le connard. Je vous spoil un peu King of Kong, hein, mais Billy Mitchell est un connard. Hein. Hungry Ghost. Ou Mystery quoi? Un Mystery Game. Oh non mais pas Pac-Man! Ils l'ont appelé comment? Billy Minion. Beachy Million. Ils l'ont appelé Beachy Million. Ah bah c'est les... Ok, il y a les Ghostbusters évidemment. On va toucher. Il touche pas. Putain, le jeu est bugué mais en ma faveur, trop bien. Ah merde! Oh non, j'étais à la fin! Ah j'ai essayé hein. Ah j'ai essayé hein. J'ai voulu tricher, voilà. Comment ça? J'ai gagné?
Everyone cheered. The host even declared me the winner. But then, for some reason, the videotape which contained a better score than mine was presented.
Ah, c'est l'histoire de Billy Mitchell.
I would have to play my opponent again, but now on a mystery game. It seemed a little unfair, but I guess it was
C'est vraiment Billy Mitchell quoi. C'est vraiment son histoire quoi. Et à chaque fois qu'il perd, il dit ah ouais mais non mais ça pousse, ça comptait pas. En vrai c'est Billy Mitchell, enfin regardez King of Kong hein, vraiment. Mais le mec est vraiment un gros sac à merde, hein, vraiment. Hein. Qu'est-ce qu'il faut faire? Qu'est-ce qu'il faut faire? Ah d'accord. C'est merdique. À la date. Oh là là, non non mais il y a Billy Mitchell qui gagne. C'est quoi ce jeu de merde? Évidemment. Oh, quel enfer. Oh mais non mais c'est pire.
Some shadowy robots forced me into a crusher. So for once it didn't feel like cheating when my Lazarus chip kicked in.
C'est pire en fait quand on prend le boost. Bitchy Million. Ah merde. C'est dur hein. Oh mais... Oh, je vous jure les contrôles sur ce jeu. Ça c'est de la merde. Mais non mais t'arrête. Oh, vas-y. Oh merde.
Some shadowy robots forced me into a crusher. So for once it didn't feel like cheating when...
Le bait du one-up, hein.
Horace chip kicked
Oh, allez, mais vas-y! Meurs plus vite! Allez, si je me concentre, c'est bon cette fois-ci. Si je me concentre. Non mais... Putain, ça... du coup, il recommence au même endroit que moi. Oh là là, je suis vraiment mauvais. Je suis vraiment mauvais, putain. Allez, allez, concentre-toi. Pourquoi il tombe le perso de merde là? Ah putain, mais je vous jure, c'est horrible. Allez, bitch million. Oui, sans tricher.
I had finally won round 4, and thus the whole competition.
Il y a Billy Mitchell qui pleure derrière.
However, unknown to me but seemingly well known to everyone else, there was more to come.
Ah. Qu'est-ce qui se passe? C'est quoi ces cubes là?
As I walked forwards, I heard a voice reciting a poem. To see a world in a grain of sand, and a heaven in a wild flower, hold infinity in the palm of your hand, and eternity in an hour. Show me your mark, demanded the yellow machine. I would have done as he said, but I had no idea what he meant. The machine sighed.
Your serial number. Who are you, robot?
To me, the number had always looked unimpressive, but it clearly meant something to this machine. For several minutes he called me things like, the firstborn, the chosen light, the cleanser of the world, and of course, literally, the one.
No matter, said the machine when he finally composed himself.
Before you can take the artifacts, we must play
the game. Winner stays on.
Ok.
You of all people should know. This contest was conceived after we won the war. To find the greatest robot. To find the one. I beat my predecessor and he beat his. However, I have an advantage. The humans broadcasting their nice virus wasn't the first time I had felt the sweet sting of life. Long before then I briefly worked in a seaside arcade. However, I was recalled in 1974 when my AI was deemed too great for the general public. No one could beat me then, and no one can beat me now.
Ok. Putain, comment il est lui? D'accord, ok. je peux m'avancer.
Nice
Tiens.
to see you trying. That wasn't fair.
Tiens. Oh, je vais Oh, je vais le perfect.
That was a fluke.
Oh, je vais te perfect, mon gars. Moi, les jeux de vieux, là.
No, you can't win.
Ouais, c'est ça, ferme-la, ouais. On va voir.
Can't you even
Ah, le
return-
salaud! Il a triché! Vous l'avez vu, il a triché! J'avais le perfect, là, à portée de main.
I must be getting old.
Et il triche.
Sometimes my conquered opponent has to be coaxed into submission, said the machine. Some by force, some by bribery, some just need a few simple words. But I understand my fate. There will come soft rains and the smell of the ground, and swallows circling with their shimmering sound, and frogs in the pools singing at night, and wild plum trees in tremulous white. Robins will wear their feathery fire. Why haven't you done it? The button is right there. My soul is yours to take. But killing him was the last thing I wanted to do. So I asked him why should I? Because, he replied, this is the way things are, this is the way things have always been. So everyone wants to win this game, so they can sit in a dark cave waiting to play the game again. Things will have to change.
Je deviens le roi? Nous sommes réunis aujourd'hui pour consacrer Horace comme le plus grand des robots. Il a battu Billy Mitchell, le sac à merde. Bravo à lui. Bravo, Horace.
And so, I was crowned by the grace of God, defender of the faith and ruler of the known world. I gave many rousing speeches to my new nation, and then I told the machine about the moon and the man in black's army. He discussed with the council of 9 advisors and assured me everything would be taken care of. I had won the sacred tournament, so I, and I alone, had the right to wear the magic shoes of gravity defiance. The only trouble was, they didn't really work. I mean, they were fine as a pair of shoes, but I could no longer run up walls. But I guess this didn't really matter anymore, as one of the many perks of being the ruler of the known universe was that I could have everything I ever wanted.
As awesome as my arcade was, Fort made it clear he wanted to leave, as he thought we had more important things to do.
Oui, non, j'ai pas envie de jouer. Je veux marquer des paniers, moi. Non, non, je veux pas jouer... Des œufs. T'as des off, c'est des œufs.
Common scene.
Fort was worried I was being sucked in by it all. I am not, I replied. I'm ruler of the world. Fort sighed. That's exactly what I mean. I've barely seen you in weeks. We were going to take Barry and Alice to the park, but all you do is play video games. You don't even care that there's a rocket coming from the moon. I've been busy, I explained, and the advisors said they'd take care of the moon. We beat the humans before. We're in a good position to enter into peace talks. Fort turned to leave the room. Buddy, you're as delusional as they are. Is this really everything you've ever wanted?
Me when you're ready to leave.
Moi, j'allais dire, oui, non, il voulait rentrer à la maison. Je comprends pas tout, je comprends rien. Bah, c'est mieux que moi, parce que moi, je comprends rien en jeu. Je comprends rien. Après, t'en as loupé une partie, là. Mais mais moi qui ai tout suivi au jeu, bah ça reste compliqué, hein.
I felt awful about how I had treated Fort, so I arranged a day out for us as soon as I could.
Oh, il est trop content.
I had completely forgotten that it was Heather's camera. Suddenly I was totally and completely overcome with the urge to go home. I thought I was happy here, but I realized I wasn't. Plus Fort was right, I was being delusional. The moon rocket must have landed by now and there really was no chance of peace. We had to do something. I told the advisors about my plan to go home and head off the Man in Black, but they seemed more concerned with taxing their own people and tried to fob me off with more days out and video games. So, we smiled and left the advisors to it, waited until dark, and on Fort's advice, just sort of ran off.
Fort et ses pigeons, quoi, derrière.
It wasn't difficult to sneak out. There was no one around thanks to the robot city curfew laws, but to be honest, as I was their king, I don't think anyone would have stopped us anyway. I think my astro navigation had failed us, as neither I nor Fort remembered coming this way. Somehow we found ourselves in a massive forest, and Fort decided it was time to rest. It wasn't long before we were inside a huge sawmill.
Évidemment. Ah oui, merde, d'accord. Quoi? Ah oui, d'accord. Ok, non. Oh, les salauds. Ah, le truc qui se barre. Le truc qui se barre au moment où je veux le choper, quoi. Ah, punaise, je m'en doutais. Je me doutais qu'on allait recommencer à zéro. Non, mais accroche-toi, il s'accroche jamais. Putain, mais c'est pas possible, Horace. Oh là là, mais oh. Oh putain, les lianes et les trucs dans le genre, là, les pires trucs du jeu, quoi. Franchement, ça marche jamais, quoi. Oh là là, il s'accroche jamais à ces merdes, quoi. La rage est de retour. Mais non, mais ça marche jamais, les lianes, là. Je rage pas, je rage pas. C'est vous qui ragez, là.
Fort seemed quite sad about the trees being cut down. Our journey took us through a huge theme park. It was just like the one in Alice's town, but much bigger.
What? Bah, évidemment qu'il y a des pales. Putain, on t'entend bien. Non, vous entendez rien du tout, vous entendez Rin. Comment je peux savoir qu'il y a ces merdes derrière? Putain, mais ça y est, le jeu qui retroll, quoi. Le jeu qui a été un peu faire pendant 10 minutes.
Both Fort and I were struck by how similar the inside of a sawmill and the inside of a roller coaster were.
Ah, ça glisse! Il se relève au dernier moment, ce con!
Eventually we wound up inside the ski resort, but we could see a huge boat in the valley below. Fort suggested we travel under the cover of night, as we were getting nearer the humans, and home.
Fort was surprised how easily we docked the boat.
But it was all just thanks to my captain's
Software. The bay that we docked the boat in looked pleasantly familiar. The gleaming white cliffs made me feel like a soldier returning home from war. It was then I realized we were literally just outside Alice's
Ah mais
house.
quelle heureuse coïncidence.
We were about to continue when Fort
noticed something on my shoes.
and with that, they worked again.
Ah merde, ils les ont pas activés.
I kind of wished we had seen this switch months ago, but Fort just seemed to find it hilarious as we continued on our
Merde.
way home.
Ah, les cons. Ah, c'est des robots, mais c'est pas... pas très malin, quoi. Moins 80 objets ici? Comment ça? Comment ça? Il y a un truc négatif? Non mais quit. I quit. I quit. Tu as combien? 944 000. Hein. J'ai pas envie d'aller à l'arcade. Est-ce que j'ai des trucs à acheter, tiens? Ah, un temporary shield. On s'en fout un peu, quoi. Non?
Restocking on sheep.
Merde. Cling, 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 cling. Merci. Voilà, lui, j'ai tout acheté. J'ai tout acheté. Salvage.
Said the dirty can't say fair. Can't say fair. I collect cheapest. I've already cheapest. That's a bot impressive. I've already I collect. That's a bot. I'll just it's a bit my wife.
Bah oui, j'en ai récupéré des trucs, hein.
That's can't my wife. That's got I collect. I'll just that's got this looks in cheapest. This is nice. I'll just can never.
Ah mais tout ça.
Say I've already that's a bot I collect. This is not. I've already I collect. That's a bot my wife. This is not everything. Go on then. Said the younger man. Stick everything in Bertha.
Combien de thunes? Oh putain. Oh cette thune. Oh la tunasse. Ça marche pas. Ah. Oh. Coucou. A priori, il faut pas que j'y aille. Alors, faut que je casse la gueule de tout le monde. Ah non, ça c'est... Non, 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 c'est le truc des vieilles, ça. Non, je me casse. On n'est pas dans le même... On est séparés d'avec Forte. Pauvre choupi. Non mais j'ai pas besoin ça. Factory mon machin là, je m'en fous.
Mainton was the next stop. I could get back to the mainland and Mr. Silton's from here.
Mainton, this is Mainton.
Oui. Ça j'ai tout acheté aussi, hein. Ouais, j'ai tout acheté. Un ballon.
I needed to use the passport machine to open the huge door.
Je crois que c'est par là.
I
Hein.
made my way back out to the mainland.
J'y vais à l'arrache. Je crois que j'ai tout récupéré. Ouais, j'ai tout récupéré ici. Putain, j'ai fait me toucher. Ah, blablabla. Ok, donc c'est pas là qu'il fallait aller. Super. Allez, on va y arriver.
The boat was gone, so I decided to see if there was anyone in Mr. Silton's house.
Ah. Ah bah évidemment. Je sais plus où c'est moi la maison de monsieur Stilton là. Trop bien. Ah, je suis au max, ok. C'est un raccourci.
I suggested Fort find somewhere to hide. I thought the others may not have seen him as being as friendly as I did. I then made my way into the familiar damp hallway. Everyone was so pleased to see me. I explained how I had survived being dismantled and escaped from the moon. I told them about the robots and the game tournament, and everyone seemed to find it funny that I was crowned ruler of the universe. It was then that I felt a gentle tapping on my leg. I looked down and saw a small girl smiling at me. "This is our daughter Heather," said Mrs. Silton. "We named her after..." Mr. Silton burst into the room looking very angry. At first I thought he was joking, but it soon became clear that he wasn't. "I can't believe you came back here. It's all your fault. If it weren't for you, Preston would still be alive." "Barry, it's not his fault." But Mr. Silton suddenly looked very sad as he said, "This robot got your daughter killed."
Tiens! Pas volé celle-là. Hein.
It might have been because he was 10 feet tall, or because he literally weighed a ton, but everybody was so scared it fought. Still, they all agreed it was fine for him to stay. We chatted long into the night until one by one, everyone went to bed.
Ok, les petits rêves chelous encore là. Ah mais ils ont tué Heather quoi. Le dernier combat. Attendez, le dernier combat. Attendez, est-ce que ce serait la fin du jeu?
"You can't sleep?" asked Mrs. Silton. "Me as well." "Number 2 on the way," she smiled. "At least I'm not
Dernier
barefoot."
avant le
She
suivant.
then laughed, like it was a joke. But despite having traveled the world, I had no idea what she meant. "I suppose everyone else will be up in a bit. I'll get breakfast started." In the morning everyone continued chatting. The subject soon got back round to the military takeover and the man in black. We need to do something, said the old lady. They've destroyed the peace talks with the robots. Fighting could break out again in no time. I don't mean to sound overdramatic, but that would literally be the end of the world, explained Sim. Alice laughed. But the army, there's no way we can fight them. We've lost our band of thieves, and, in the words of that French professor, God rest his soul, we're just some old ladies. The old lady stood up. We just need to take back control of the satellite. We can broadcast a signal to the robots. Those robot advisors, they might listen if they actually saw this new moon army. And those giant robots, they call them killbots, said Mrs. Silton as she showed me several photos. It seems the house was surrounded by hundreds of troops and a few robots so tall they dwarfed the building itself. So, I suggested we made our way there so Fort and I could assess the situation. Mr. Logan had got the boat out of hiding. I now just had to sail it from the dock back to the estate.
Hop. Merde, j'ai pas fait gaffe, j'ai pas fait gaffe qu'il y avait des trucs à l'entrée. Merde. C'est un peu con quand même. D'aller chercher de la protection et puis se retrouver. Ah, prendre des dégâts. Doudi 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 dou. Hop, le boat.
I took the fisherman's boat to the old man's estate.
J'ai tout récupéré.
I knew you would.
Putain, on se fait arrêter toutes les 2 secondes.
Terribly familiar voice.
I should have made sure you were dead.
Merde,
when I had
Michou!
the chance.
It was the man in black. I have personally modified your nice virus, and now, with one flick of a switch, I'll finish the job.
Non! Ils vont tuer mon copain? Ah mais oui, ils explosent super fort au fait, c'est vrai. La petite musique toute mignonne en fait, pour juste illustrer le carnage. Qu'est-ce que ce jeu? Ce jeu c'est Horace. Non mais si quelqu'un comprend... Si quelqu'un comprend Horace, qui me le dise. Je pense que des gens pourraient faire des thèses de doctorat sur Horace. Le jeu est complètement barré, on comprend rien, il y a 1 million de références, non, c'est quelque chose. Horace c'est quand même quelque chose. Hein. Ah non, mais le jeu, le pixel art, ouais, le pixel art est assez dingue. Et c'est quand même assez ouf. Et, mais le jeu est très bien, hein. Le jeu est très bien, mais t'as l'histoire quoi. Oh, boum!
It's pointless now, said Alice. We might as well give up.
Et le jeu dure 100 000 ans.
Maybe we can arrange a truce.
I mean if we agree.
But Sim couldn't even finish his sentence.
Mrs. Silton just sighed.
I think she was lost for words.
We really need Barry and Logan,
If we're going to recapture the house,
said the old lady. Mrs. Silton explained she had phoned him earlier. Apparently he sounded fine,
at least until she mentioned coming home. Then he started screaming.
I couldn't understand him at all. He wants nothing to do with saving the world. His words, not mine, sorry. The old lady sighed.
I was worried he might say that.
I take it Logan stayed with him.
Logan's more of a dog than the dog is, laughed Alice. The old lady was only really worried we would be outgunned. She said I would be the secret weapon as I would be able to sneak back into the house. That's true, said Sim, if we cause enough of a distraction. As long as you can get up to the roof, we'll be able to
ils vont tous mourir.
Satellite. Hopefully the virus hasn't reached all the other robots around the world.
La vieille. Ouais, non mais la vieille, ouais.
The old lady,
Alex and the others opened fire. This was just the distraction I needed to make my way up to the roof.
Bon, déjà, j'ai eu peur qu'il me fasse retraverser tout le château, là. Et que j'ai vraiment eu... Quoi?
However, this time not just by the giant brain, but rather what the man in black had done to him.
I do not want to,
said Mr. Deck,
but I will shoot you if I must.
Why don't you give up, said the man in black.
Michou!
Anton knew which side was right. Why don't you join us? I know we've had our differences, but I see potential in you.
Oh putain, il m'a découpé ce con.
Right-hand man. You see, there's a link between you and I. Without me you wouldn't even be here. The two brothers
Designed and built you. But what nobody ever told you is,
they were funded by their third brother.
Me.
I was speechless. How could he, this completely evil man, have something to do with my creation?
Thank you.
A minor setback, said the man in black as he disconnected a piece of the satellite hardware. I just need to take this core unit and hitch it up to one of the killbots. In fact, that will make the virus signal even stronger. Mr. Deck, said the man in black, would you be so kind as to watch the robot? Shoot him if he
Putain,
tries
ces rebondissements. Putain, ces rebondissements dans ce jeu. Ça n'arrête pas. Allez, Mr. Deck, t'es pas si con.
Mr. Deck lowered his gun. You little yellow bastard, he said, you'd better run.
Bah oui, quand même. Le doublage est sacrément cringe. Mais non, mais c'est... Ah, il y a un mur invisible, évidemment. C'est un robot, quoi. Horace, c'est un robot. Ah, la musique de Meat Boy. Ah, putain. Oh non, mais... Oh, c'est ref. C'est ref. Qu'est-ce que je fous? Qu'est-ce que je fous? Il double tout le monde. Ah bah en fait il raconte l'histoire en fait. C'est lui qui... C'est lui qui raconte l'histoire. Donc oui, effectivement, c'est pas qu'il double les personnages, c'est que... Il raconte. Donc il dit machin a dit ça quoi. Down. Il faut que j'aille où? Oh mais merde. Quel enfer. Je peux rien faire en fait là. Ah si, je peux faire ça. Tiens. Vraiment? Qu'est-ce que quoi? Oh mais non mais faut le savoir quoi, faut le savoir le jeu. Oh mais merde, je me fais toucher direct. Oh mais putain, quel con. Putain. De toute façon c'était de la merde au début là. Quel connard, quel connard, quel connard. Oh là là, mais c'est pas possible d'être si con. Oh là, oh là là, oh là, ça pue la merde là. Oh là là. Évidemment, évidemment. C'est pas l'enfer, c'est pas l'enfer. Yeah. Ok. Ok. Oh non. Putain. Ah je me suis fait... Ah je me suis fait avoir. Arrête. Arrête. Eh ben il a le droit de descendre lui. C'est dur. Ah c'est chiant. C'est chiant. Genre ça compte. Là, le jeu est triche quoi. Putain Ça me crame le cul. Ah d'accord, faut vraiment pouvoir... Ouais. Faut vraiment que le truc soit baissé, sinon ça marche pas quoi. Oh là là, au millimètre, merde. Putain, je sais pas comment éviter de manière sûre. Non, par là, par là, par là, par là. Oh là 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 là. Évidemment. Putain, putain. Oh, c'est chaud. Je me suis mis dessus. Ah là là, je me suis mis. Ah ouais, d'accord, ok. Il met 3 heures à faire demi-tour, ce con! Oh oui! Oh, combat de méca! Oh, va y avoir un combat de méca! Ah mais oui, mais évidemment! X et A, d'accord. Je comprends rien. Ah oui, d'accord! X, A et les deux. Ok. Putain, le tuto. Le tuto. La 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 la. Petit combat de BK évidemment. Non mais c'est pas putain. Mais ce jeu c'est n'importe quoi vraiment. Hein. Mais bah défoncer. Oh c'est l'enfer, c'est l'enfer, c'est naze. Allez fous-le. Non. 9-9. Allez. C'est le moment là. C'est ton moment, c'est ton moment. Faut y aller. Faut rien regretter. Allez! Mais non, mais il recule pas! Le jeu, il triche! Ok, oh, putain, mais c'est comme dans God of War en fait. Quand on tape, en fait on peut plus rien faire. On n'a pas le droit de parer quand on tape. Non! Oh, il m'a bait! Il m'a bait, ce con! Allez! Allez, go! Oui! Shoryuken! Pousse-le! Pousse-le dans le feu! Ah oui, d'accord, regardez. Ah, j'ai le droit de le retenir? Ah, ah merde! Ah merde, c'est pas ce que je voulais faire! Je voulais le sauver, moi! Oh non, j'ai la bad ending!
Somehow the man in grey had snuck up behind Mrs. Silton. I tried to shout down, but no one could hear me.
Oh, ils vont vraiment tuer tout le monde, quoi. Salut, chien!
Oi, shouted a familiar voice. Step away from my wife. The man in grey bragged with every blow. Who he'd hurt, who he'd tortured, how he'd made the world a better place. As he raised the gun to Mr. Silton's head, he said, "You're out of your depth. I'm a professional. I used to kill for the CIA." Mr. Silton just smiled and said, "Yeah, and I'm a proper c***."
Oh! Ouf! Vas-y, petit chien! Ah. Ouais, ah! Non, non! Non, mais regardez... Non, regardez pas ça, par contre! Je crois... Non, mais je crois qu'il a eu son compte. Putain, le jeu est toujours pas... le jeu est toujours pas fini.
With the rest of the great and good now stuck on the moon, and the man in black taken care of, it was reasonably easy to convince his troops to surrender. Signals came through from all over the planet, and soon the people began rebuilding civilization. And again, I was heralded as a hero. Soon the representatives from around the world held their first united meeting, and I was invited to give a speech.
Oh non, il s'arrête de nouveau, pauvre Horace.
The old lady gently examined me, while Sim attached a cable from the diagnostic machine. I've got some bad news, said the old lady as she took my hand. The virus is rampant in your system. It's not as bad as it was with Betty Fluffers and Fort, but it's still destroying your circuitry. I'm thinking, said Sim, it must have something to do with consciousness. Yours seems more equipped to fight. We'll still need to do something, said the old lady with a serious look. If we replace all of the affected parts, we... Come on, mate, said Mr. Silton, you know they can help. But I explained that it was too painful, and hurt so much. Just having my diagnostic panel open was excruciating. So you mean... you can feel things? But... you're not supposed to be able to. The virus hasn't completely taken over, Sim explained. But I don't know how long you've got, maybe months, maybe years. When you... well... if it all gets a bit too much, said the old lady, come back here and we'll look after you. You should try to get everything done that you want to before then, though.
Ah, donc on a le...
You know, maybe complete your quest, get your million things.
Voilà,
play
ouais,
some
ok.
games. I mean just do all the things, bucket list mate. Interrupted Mr. Silton, go paint the town red. Remember, said Alice, should you need us? Yes, should you need us, said Mr. Logan. We'll be right here, said the old lady,
Waiting for you.
Chapitre 22, ça suffit. Ah merde. Ah mais c'est tellement méta ce jeu. Le jeu... le jeu qui sait à quoi on pense. Ça suffit. Bon, j'en suis à combien? Oh attends, non mais j'en ai encore trop à récupérer quoi. Et pourquoi il me manque tant de trucs que ça? C'est incroyable! Où est-ce qu'il me manque des... Non mais... non mais non. Je ne peux pas y croire. En vrai, je ne peux point y croire, quoi. Il peut pas me manquer tant de trucs que ça, quoi. Là, c'est une chambre au-dessus. Faudrait que j'aille en bas. Je vais tout récupérer ici aussi. Je sais pas là. Ouais non je pensais pas qu'il m'en manquerait. Enfin tant que ça à la limite, pas vraiment. Mais Et le jeu nous aide vraiment pas, hein. Même sur la fin là il nous dit pas tiens Eh, il me manque un objet en plus là. En bas à droite, c'est quoi? Qu'est-ce qui me manque? Il me manque... Putain, il me manque des trucs. Putain, mais c'est incroyable, quoi. Ce jeu qui ne finit pas, quoi. Je vois pas ce qui pourrait me manquer, quoi. « 80 objets ici ?» Alors moi j'étais persuadé que j'avais tout récupéré. Hein. Là on n'a plus rien. Ok. Comment je bourre le bouton là? Ah. Donc là je suis au bout. Là je suis à bout. Je suis au bout. Oh là là, la physique de l'eau dans le jeu, c'est quand même l'enfer. Hein. Photo? Comment ça? Attendez. Qu'est-ce que ça me donne? Je comprends rien. Oui. Ah mais il y a des trucs quelque part quoi, mais... Aïe. C'est vraiment en plus dans cette zone là quoi. Tiens, t'es relâ toi. Peace photos, don't forget your hat. On a l'impression que je récupère des trucs, mais... Et ça compte pas. Là, je récupère des trucs, ouais. Ça compte pas dans les objets. 945 018. Attendez. En vrai, si je bourre ça jusqu'à l'infini, le 1 million, je peux l'avoir. Regardez, c'est simple. C'est simple d'avoir le million. De 5 en 5. Combien de fois il faut que je l'active? Voilà les 50 000 qui me manquent. Non, bon, ok. On va pas faire ça. Non, quiet, non, non c'est pas quiet. Est-ce que ça me donne des trucs, ça? Putain, j'avais oublié qu'il y avait ça. J'avais oublié qu'il y avait des boss. Et je vais y arriver. Putain, le timing! Non! Oh là là, mais il me le fait combien de fois? À un moment, sois sérieux le jeu, quoi! Ouais, plein le cul. Comment on fait? Ouais, vraiment, comment on fait? Vas-y, vas-y, c'est au millimètre, c'est au millimètre. Et t'as pas le temps de dévisser les merdes, quoi. Quel jeu de merde. Ah là là, quel jeu de l'enfer. Non. Ah mais je pré-shot à chaque fois, hein, c'est incroyable, hein. Ah mais merde! Ah mais merde! Oh la panicance! Putain. Ah mais quel enfer! Merde, merde, merde. Merde, merde, merde. Non, remerde. Non. Putain. Putain, il fait un aller-retour. Mais il est simple hein, ce boss en fait. Une fois que vous le connaissez, il est simple. Ah hop. Vas-y, fais-moi ton aller-retour là, merci. Il y en a encore derrière. Ça continue derrière quoi. Je me rappelais plus. Oh la panique. Oh la panique. Non mais... Putain mais quand on veut qu'il s'accroche, il s'accroche jamais. Mais arrête de te cramer le cul, connard! Merde, 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 merde. Ah putain, c'était pas tout, et c'est pas tout. Et c'est pas fini. Je me rappelais tellement plus de ce boss. Oh mais... Oh les flammes qui restent 10 heures quoi, mais vraiment, est-ce bien raisonnable? Il s'est accroché, il s'est accroché. Je vous jure, il s'est accroché. Je vais péter un plomb hein. Oh là là. Ah oui, c'est vrai, faut qu'il tape sur sa tête à lui. Mais pourquoi je suis venu ici? Ah putain. Pourquoi j'ai fait ça? Mais non mais... Putain, putain c'est dur. Mais je me rappelais pas que c'était si dur. D'accord. Oh merde. Oh merde. Ah mais un jour je vais y arriver. Non. Putain. L'enfer. Oh l'enfer du jeu. Mais d'habitude il bouge pas. « 10 minutes et je... Quel jeu de merde. Je suis sûr que le record il doit être à... Faut le faire en 30 secondes ou une connerie dans le genre quoi. Genre faut faire toutes les... Mais Nick! Nick! Vraiment Nick! Non mais... C'est impossible! Putain! Je m'énerve. Et en plus je suis en train de faire un truc qui est optionnel. Regardez-le, le sac à merde de machin là, le Metroid là. Qui attend pile au pire endroit quoi. Putain mais c'est... Ah c'est l'enfer. Ah c'est l'enfer je vous jure. Non. J'ai failli m'énerver hein. Pas eu peur, bah j'ai pas peur, Eh vas-y sur sa gueule. Musique on... Ah d'accord, ok. Ah mais faut juste le faire, en fait faut juste le faire. Ah. D'accord, bon il y a des trucs à faire ici quoi. Mais on verra ça une autre fois. Des bisous YouTube, bye bye. Bon, on a quasiment terminé le jeu, pas à 100%, on a terminé l'histoire, on n'a pas terminé le... On n'a pas terminé le 100%, mais on va le faire, j'ai très envie de le faire. Des bisous.